All right, my name is Teran Stallings, and on behalf of the Black Man Think Tank, I'd like to welcome you both, and thank you for being here. If you would, take a minute to introduce yourselves to the voters. Let's start with you, brother.
Okay. My name is Donald Washington. I am a first-time candidate. Grew up downtown, over the Rhine here in Cincinnati. I graduated from Purcell Marion back in 2007. I don't even like to say that. It's like so long
Don't do
ago.
that.
Yeah, back in 2007. 17. I graduated at 17. I went to the Air Force. Came back, entrepreneur, had multiple businesses, and now just trying to help my city. Yeah.
All right. Well, my name is Meeka Owens. I am running for my third term to Cincinnati City Council. And I want to say thank you, all Black Men's Think Tank, for putting this forum together. It's really important that there are several formats to be able to engage with voters and educate voters. I am from Avondale, born and raised. I raised my son there, went off to Miami, raised my son at Miami as well, full-time student, full-time mom. It was also in Avondale where I studied martial arts, and so walked up the street summertime in a white gi and learned about discipline and focus and respect of myself and others. When I came back home from college, also an entrepreneur, and learned that from both of my parents. It was 2016 that made a difference in terms of, we both went to Purcell, so that idea of giving back and peer ministry and all those pieces that are important in terms of the global community. 2016, I organized, and I kept organizing. And so there was a moment where walking into local government after the 2016 election cycle that I decided, how do I want to give back to this city that I love and have raised a son here, been a single Black mom here, a woman, an entrepreneur, all those pieces. And so how might I serve? And so here I am serving for going for my third term, leading the first ever climate committee in the city of Cincinnati, which climate is a conversation that belongs to all of us, and as it disproportionately impacts Black communities, brown communities, low-income communities. Working on things like eviction prevention to help stabilize families, keep Black women in their homes or have better options by passing access to counsel, giving people access to an attorney and rental assistance. So I am just proud to continue to be able to serve in this city that I love, that I also believe has so much promise and hope.
All right. Thank you both. And with that, we will dive right in. So our first question is, what is your strategy to ensure that public and private investments don't just reach downtown, but also uplift neighborhoods like Avondale, Bond Hill, and the West End? Start with you.
Well, I think that's very important. It's a very important question because that's really where we're suffering economically. And with that being said, I don't know the number offhand as far as how many contracts supposed to be given to minority-owned business. Mika, do you know?
How many contracts?
The
with
percentage,
the percentage?
yes.
No, but I can find out for you.
Okay. But I know it isn't enough. I know that because our communities are suffering, and usually when it's developers coming in, it's not people from the community, and they're not hiring people from the community enough as well. So from my perspective, I think that any development that's happening in predominantly Black neighborhoods, then you need to have predominantly predominantly Black citizens of that neighborhood working on those projects. So however I have to do that, whoever I have to work with to get things like that done, that's what I plan to do, because we need to control our neighborhoods.
Okay, thank you. So
Public-private partnership is the way that the city has to move forward. We've seen the success of that with 3CDC and the downtown urban core, which was specifically post Timothy Thomas and civil unrest. It was specifically bringing back our urban downtown core. That model is something that we know we can replicate. We're seeing it in things like the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, where the city, the county, and private dollars came together to actually build affordable units across the city of Cincinnati because of the flexibility of the funding. And it's that type of model that I know we can expand to other communities when we think about corporate investment, when we think about institutions like Xavier being right here. I do believe that there is a community level lens that we have to take when we're rebuilding communities, from, yes, the way that we build housing, how we build it, how we engage with the community along the way. But there also has to be a lens on small businesses as we think about building an entire neighborhood ecosystem. So what I believe about Cincinnati's future is that because we are well resourced, when we bring people together to solve big problems, that's what we're really good at. And so I'm excited to, as a collaborator by nature, that is how I show up every day, and that is how I know to get things done for the city of Cincinnati.
Perfect. Thank you both. Our next question. What do you see as the root causes that drive violence in our neighborhoods, and what is your plan to address them? Start with you, Meeka.
Wow, that's a great question, because it's always one that we have to bring so many perspectives into. The very first thing I did in City Hall in my first 3 months was to declare gun violence as a public health crisis. That was important to me because Smell Park shooting, July 2020, again, raising a black son. Young people need places, need spaces, feeling valued, all of those things. So it's a complex issue because it's not just one thing. It is, yes, we've got to get more guns off of the street, and that takes federal, state, local, because we can't pass our own laws and just abolish, right? And so we're living in this context where, yes, democracy does matter, and so going upstream means, yes, educated voters that are showing up in every election. But we also have to make sure we're getting to the root causes: housing stabilization, building more housing, mental health, workforce. Young people want to be activated, third spaces in communities. And so when we think about neighborhood level development, it should be that space that a young person can identify and go in and understand that there's a mentor there for me. There's opportunity for me to get mental health, feel safe, get mental health resources, learn a skill. And so, the work around economics is so important for our young people. I was just at Withrow TAF game and talking to a group of young guys out there and just asking, what does it look like if you were to learn the skill and earn money and what? Yeah, absolutely. What would you do? Buy shoes, clothes, like all of us would want to do. But they also said we'd save money for things like a house and a car, the things that everyone wants. And so I think we have to build some pipelines. And what I think about having the opportunity to serve on city council for another term is we all have to be rowing in the same direction in this conversation and be rooted in the outcomes together. But workforce and putting money in young people's pockets and teaching them a skill is important. And it's possible too. It's possible because they're thinking about it. They are young creatives. And so we've got to mold them, help to shape opportunity for them. And it's out there. The Cincinnati Chamber, along with the city, we did a green workforce analysis of understanding what are the green jobs that we can create when we come together. Up to 44,000 jobs with an $11 billion economic impact, living wage jobs that don't require a college degree or a high school diploma. And so we need to create every opportunity, create the pathway for every opportunity for a young person walking out of our CPS school district and feeling ready to conquer the world. And when we think about skills, education, training, all those pieces. And so when we think about the world of technology and AI, people using their hands and feet, those are always going to be key jobs. When we think about this $3 billion Brent Spence Bridge, it's the opportunity to move 700 folks are going to be needed. So we got to build these pipelines, and we've got to be intentional about our young people moving into them.
Appreciate that. Mr. Washington.
Can I have the question?
Absolutely. What do you see as the root causes that drive violence in our neighborhoods, and what is your plan to address them?
Okay. The root causes actually, again, go back to the economics and go back to, I will also say, lack of education. And I think that my platform addresses all of this. Everything Meeka said, I agree with, and I think my platform is addressing all those concerns. So my platform is I want to bring back CCY. That was a Citizens Committee on for Youth. It was a a city-ran youth employment program. I'm a product of it, growing up over the Rhine. That was my first job. I think I actually worked twice. I want to bring that back. I want to do a gun buyback program. A lot of people, I keep getting a lot of pushback saying it doesn't work, but I feel that less guns on the street is safer by default. It's less guns on the street. I also want to address it from the mental health standpoint. I believe that I know I want to work with the Board of Education and see how we can implement mandatory mental health programs in all Cincinnati public schools, because those kids are going through trauma. And I also have you can find this too. You can find all this at vote.donaldwashington2025.com. You'll see my whole platform. So I also have a hard knock rose program to where I want to help. I would like to help those kids who want to live that street life. I want to connect them to men who have lived that street life, but turned their life around and can really be someone there to show them that the street life isn't all it's cracked up to be. And for the business as well, I have a idea to streamline the process to doing business with the city. When I read the futures report, and in the future report, the number one complaint from small businesses was that the city was too slow on doing business, on getting permits, on getting inspections. And this cost small business money. And it also cost the city money, because larger companies that wanted to come and do business with the city, it was the same slow process. So I think we should have one central business office, and you do everything business there. And we need to update the technology, whatever we have to do in order to make that process faster. And I think that would help our communities.
Right. Thank you both. Let's go a little broader with our lens for this next question. When federal agencies like ICE seek cooperation from local police, it can erode trust in black communities. What is your position regarding local cooperation with ICE? And how would you protect civil rights while keeping public safety? Start with you, Mr. Washington.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel that the current federal administration is definitely overstepping. He's taken away state and cities' sovereignties, and I don't agree with it at all. And I will work with other council members, with whatever agency I have to work with, in order to keep them away.
Perfect. Thank you.
So in this landscape, this is a very real question, and something that we have had to contend with since this current federal administration. And so first is understanding that CPD is not by law required to offer itself to ICE. So there's that, and we certainly have not taken that position from city council to city manager to chief of police. Now, when you have the proper warrants, and I would put those in air quotes, when you have the proper warrants, federal law enforcement supersedes local, right? Before getting there, it was very important for entities like CPS School District, like organizations, corporations, what is your policy? Because at the end of the day, it should be whoever is the first person that an ICE agent might see. What is the warrant? What am I looking at? Knowing that that's it or it's not. So everyone had to go into a space of understanding what their own kind of response would be. At the end of the day, we also wanted to make sure that we were supporting Know Your Rights campaign. And so what did that mean? That means funding in our last budget organizations that work with immigrant communities. And as you can imagine, this is a time where immigrant communities are scared. Students aren't showing up at CPS. Organizations that do the annual event, people aren't showing up for because they're scared. And so we needed to make sure that we supported organizations that were on the front line, that knew how to connect with those communities, to empower and equip people of understanding what their rights are. Now, we are in a different, and so as we continue to navigate this very volatile landscape that is really built on hate, I'm sorry, that is really built on hate. The conversation has got to be one, we are a city that is inclusive and welcoming, and we will always be that. Those are our values. And so we're going to need to work with our federal partners to make sure that people can actually work, right? That is the key crux to this immigration issue, is that, one, there's no legal path for immigration in this country. We've not figured it out. And so if we can all align on, one, the value that immigrants bring to our community, which is an economic impact, we're going to do what we need to as a city to continue to support, to continue to show up. And it's a conversation that we all have to have at the end of the day. But ultimately, people need a path to be able to be here legally, and working is one of the critical pieces to it.
Okay.
And
I'm
so,
gonna wrap you there for the
sorry.
second time.
Yes, sorry.
Appreciate all that commentary, though. Very pertinent. So let's get to our last question, which is pretty straightforward. Why should Black Cincinnatians trust you with their vote? And what's your track record of standing with the Black community? Let's try to keep this answer to like a minute and a half.
Certainly. Well, being a mom, Black woman raising a son here, it's my lived experience that I bring into City Hall every day. I mean, I'm someone who's been on CMHA's waiting list, so I understand the context. And it took 3 years to get there and get into the job. And it's like, wow, this is not choice or option. And so when I think about the conversation of affordable housing, I come to it with that lens, which is why when I took phone calls in the court system, in the clerk of courts, where moms were saying, hey, I've got 3 days to move, what do I do? That was the importance of passing something like access to counsel, giving people access to a free attorney and rental assistance. It's my, again, lived experience. I can't get away from that. I've been a small business owner, so the support that we need to give around our small businesses is something that this city has got to be accountable for. And we've got to, again, make sure that, when we see businesses not getting the contracts, what does the data say? Business is failing. We've got to ask ourselves the questions and then apply the resources. So I'm someone who's very results driven, and it is quite clear that there are disproportionate impacts across every system that happen to Black people, people of color, women. And so it is my mission that Cincinnati is a better place because of policies that redress the systemic issues that our entire society has faced. And it is incumbent upon me as a policy and decision maker to get those type of policies passed.
Thank you.
And bring people to the table to make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Washington, same question.
I think you should vote for me because I'm not a politician. Even though I'm running for an elected official, I'm not a politician. I am a guy that grew up over the Rhine and experienced life down there as it is, and I actually embraced it. I didn't try to stay away from it. I embraced it. So I know what it takes to get out of it, get out of that mind state. And that's what I'm trying to bring to these kids. I made it through that situation with not a stain on me. And what I mean is I've never been to juvie. I've never been to court. And that's an accolade when it comes from the environment we come from, and when I look at all my friends that had been through those things. I think that when you see me, you should see your brother, you should see your son, you should see your grandson, your uncle, and because when I see you, that's exactly what I see. And when I speak, that's exactly who I speak for. I don't have the longest track record because this is my first time running, but I have been doing the work as far as learning about our condition and what needs to be done to bring that change to our community. And I hope that my words today seep through and you can hear the genuineness in my voice, because a vote for me is a vote for we. And I truly mean that.
And I would say, as a new political candidate, track record goes beyond political office. So if you've been in the community, that all counts. So again, we appreciate both of you all being with us today. Voters, it's your choice. But again, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
and
for
kept you
having
guys
us.
late.
This has been great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been a great format.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.